If you can imagine the phone calls coming in, piles, bundles of letters, and the knocks at the door. Each little bit is just like a drip, drip, drip of stress into that family. It's the poverty that comes with being in debt.
Hiya, I'm Debs.
Hiya, nice to meet you.
We send local church people into people's homes to help them and support them through a professional debt counselling process.
Right.
We will collect all of the information that will give us a full financial understanding of their situation. We'll take all of the paperwork away to create a budget that is manageable, livable, but also will stand up when we start to take on the creditors.
All right, then. Thanks very much, Nicola. Bye.
And then over a period of normally about 3 visits, we will get them back onto a financial even keel where they can start to feed their family. They can also start getting their debts paid back.
It's in about a year, 8 months, I'm debt free.
Brilliant.
So it's like, yes.
That's really good.
We're reaching some of the most marginalised in society, some of the most vulnerable. When you take that pile of bills away from people, people just talk about pressure lifted off their shoulders. When you see people's lives turning around, the physical appearance of people change. Our vision is in every town and in every city, there will be a Christians Against Poverty centre in partnership with local churches so that people can receive top quality professional service of not only getting out of debt, not only staying out of debt, but also receiving hope for this life and beyond.
Tens of thousands of pounds worth of debt, 20 credit cards, 3 personal loans, creditors phoning day and night.
If I had to, then I would.
This is really what people are living with. The stress, the difficulty, the anxiety, feeling weighed down, burdened, guilty. It's not wrong to struggle with money. It's wrong to struggle with money silently. Community Money Advice is a project that helps churches and community groups set up debt advice centres.
I maxed out a credit card.
It takes absolute beginner volunteers and trains them to be able to give face-to-face debt advice.
What is the client going through that's taken them to be brave enough to come and sit in front of you?
We have centres all over England and Wales, all networked together. We have very small ones that maybe have 1 or 2 volunteers, to a number of larger centres where they've got maybe full-time staff.
So they all get a fair amount.
It's all driven by a church or a community group saying there's people that are struggling with debt. We think we can do something to help. The whole ethos of Community Money Advice Centres is about the whole person, giving them the tools to actually put their lives back together, but also to get out of debt and stay out of debt.
In rural areas, often people need to move to the city to find jobs. So brilliant opportunities through the church to reach out and connect with people in the community. Germinate Enterprise helps people think about whether they could start a business, what kind of business to start, and whether that business would be viable. Build confidence and also give a mechanism for how you can set that business up. It's 6 sessions, typically run once a week. The first session looks at what kind of business should you start if you start one, and the remaining 5 looking at is that business idea viable, and turns into this mini business plan at the end.
It's to create a website for travellers.
We've had a whole variety of people on this course. People that want to set up a cafe or maybe a social enterprise, people setting up internet-type businesses. 60% of the people doing the course, a year later, were running a business able to support them and their family.
I've got a background in fashion and I've always wanted my own business, so now I finally got the guts to do it.
This is about helping people create a job for themselves and perhaps other people. It also can build the links between the church and the community, because this is something practical that people will value.
No, you've always got that encouragement from the team, you know.
Yeah.
My dream is to have 1,000 facilitators across the country running this programme once a year. Think how many jobs that could create. Now that would be transformational.
Okay, thanks, Claire.
I think many people instinctively turn to and expect the church to help the homeless, and we want to enable churches to do just that. Our belief is their deeper need is their loneliness, their need to belong and to be loved. What a church can offer is completely unique. Someone who's not paid, who doesn't clock off, and is there just because they have genuine love for you. Hope into Action enables the church to house the homeless. A home provides vital stability from which they can rebuild their lives.
I've just had a guy come into church and he's desperate, he's living in a tent at the moment.
We will work with you either to find a house from within your congregation, or we've got investors prepared to share their wealth with the poor by buying a house. We look after the benefits, the tenancies, the admin, so the church can just focus on providing friendship, love, support and prayer.
We're here to give you another avenue of support where you can actually go and say, take you out for coffee, create new friendships.
You've got to be prepared for the long haul, you've got to be prepared for missed meetings, you've got to be prepared to be sworn at. That's all part of the deal, and through that, over time, you see change. Success to us, we're absolutely clear, is when people from church shown love to the vulnerable, and the vulnerable have engaged with them and have felt love.
Can I have a check my front room out? I've done a bit lately. The glass shelves come up the side of a fridge freezer out of a shop they chucked out. They're the side bits out of the fridge.
From this place of security and these relationships will come changed lives.
The moment the teenager walks out of their parents' house, the moment the man leaves because his wife's chucked him out, the moment somebody can't pay their rent and their landlord turfs them out onto the street, there would always be somewhere for that person to go. Shelter in a Pack equips churches to help homeless people by providing them with shelter through the winter months. A night shelter involves the church hall being set up with beds, food has to be prepared, and the secret is that these homeless people need someone who's going to be a friend to them. You can be somebody who likes chatting to people, a woman who's good at cooking puddings, somebody who likes playing chess. It's not something you have to say, I'm going to do this every night for the rest of my life. You're going to do it for a few months, and then you have a break, and then you can pick it up again the next year. The pack covers all the procedures and guidelines that you need to actually make it happen. A winter shelter project isn't something that one church would set up on its own. It's going to involve a network of churches. Any church that has a hall can be part of it, and it doesn't have to be a big shelter. Most shelters only accommodate about 15 people. Whether they're a migrant, or a destitute asylum seeker, someone who's been in prison, whether they've deserted their family, they still deserve somewhere to live.
Have a great sleep.
A lot of the need in the local community is centred around worklessness, where people feel isolated, where they're unemployed and they feel that so many things are working against them. They need people who can come alongside them and someone who can offer some support.
General assistant.
General assistant. So, okay, so you can end up by saying currently looking for work as a...
Ignition enables local churches to work with local unemployed people to enable them to move into the employment which is right for them.
When you're meeting a prospective employer, employers are going to want to know, has this person really got the heart to do this? You want to really think about your presentation, your eye contact, your hand.
We help people with their CVs, we help people with their job applications. We also help with interviewing skills.
I was running leadership courses in the community centre. In them,
we can offer churches a very flexible package of what they want to deliver. We've got a 7-session course, then we've got the ongoing job club, where you can deliver a job club with a 7-session course that can be delivered by volunteers rather than having to be done by professional careers advisors.
That's the reason that all of you are here today, is because you're wanting to help unemployed people find work.
People are interested in volunteering and finding out about what they can do. There are so many different ways that they can get involved. All you have to be is passionate and committed. Our target isn't just to get people work, our target is to get people work that they want to do, that they'll be good at, and that they will feel fulfilled in.
When you go out and you meet someone and they're extremely vulnerable, their friends have left them, or their drinks have been spiked, or they're in a gang and they want to get out, and you are spending time with them to say, I don't mind who you are, I don't care what you believe, I don't care how you look, I don't care how you dress, I want to stay with you until someone comes to pick you up, I want to make sure that you get home, or I want to make sure that you find an exit strategy for this. Because, you know something, I care for you.
Pray for me, I can't get home.
A street pastor is someone from a local church who goes on the street between 10 and 4 o'clock in the morning to care, to listen, and to help people.
He walked up to the other side of the road, right, with his Jack Russell, they come back.
So what we do, we equip people by training them to serve people on the streets.
There are some 13-year-olds who are also...
You could be 90 years of age or you could be 18. We give you all the tools so that you can be effective in serving your community. It's not about the amount of people you talk to or help. The fact you could spend all night with one person, that's enough. That's it. That is what you're there to do.
It's not enough for you. There's too many people looking down people.
Because making people feel valued is far more important than you call the ambulance 20 times. I believe that every Christian should serve as a street pastor for at least 2 years within their community. Going out there with absolutely no agenda. The only thing I have in my heart is the love of Jesus.